Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today we have a slightly off-topic video. We're going to be reviewing the Fairy microphone from MAONO. Now, a few people over time have asked me why I haven't removed the tech side of maple syrup gaming and tech since I do 99% gaming content. Well, this is the reason why. I don't want to cut myself out from time to time being able to do a more tech-related video. However, I'll be honest, this does overlap quite a bit with gaming because I would say that MAONO is positioning itself as a very nice budget entry point for anyone trying to start a YouTube channel or even to start live streaming. And also, before we go any further, I'm going to mention this is not a paid review, but yes, the microphone was provided to me by MAONO free of cost for the reasons of this review. However, if you know all my controller reviews, all the other content I do, even if the product is provided to me for free, I always give my honest opinion on all of it. And if you're wondering why last minute I'm decided to do a microphone review, it's just because it worked out perfectly. I needed a secondary microphone for the channel when I live stream unboxings. If you were there for the Scott Pilgrim unboxing, it was really a major issue for me to have to switch my mic from one position to the other to do the unboxing. So I was already shopping around for a secondary microphone, and I was aiming at the budget end since it would only be a microphone that would get maybe 1 or 2 uses per month. Well, lo and behold, I got an email from MAONO. They reached out to me and they said they'd like me to review their microphone. So I said, you know what? Why not? Send it over and I'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, since this is a first microphone review on the channel, I'll just break down really quickly. We'll start out with a close-up of the product to look at all the features that it's offering. Secondly, we'll do a sound test, actually comparing this microphone to 2 other microphones that I have. And lastly, I'm going to close out the video with my thoughts on the microphone and who it's good for. All this will be timestamped down below, so if you want to jump to any sections, go right ahead. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm not already using that other microphone I have for the unboxings, it's just because it does not have a physical mute button on it, which the MAONO does have. And basically, I'm not going to live stream with a microphone that doesn't have a physical mute button on it. Never know what's going to happen. Kids can start screaming and whatnot. I want to make sure I can mute that really quickly. So this kind of content probably won't come up very often, but nonetheless, just to let you know, if you do like the video, please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Now let's get started with that close-up to look at the features. So here we are with the close-up of the microphone. Now, first thing you need to know is this is a $50 microphone. Its regular price point is only $50, and you can regularly pick it up for a lot cheaper than that. Also, it's a microphone that has a really nice weight to it because of its base here. However, if you're using a boom arm or basically a mic stand, you can also unscrew the base. You'll keep this holster here, but you'll be able to use any of those accessories with this microphone as well. Secondly, the 2 buttons at the front here are the top one to control the gain going to the microphone, and secondly, at the bottom to control the output to the headset, because this does offer real-time monitoring. Now, personally, after testing, I do find that the sweet spot for the gain on this microphone is somewhere between halfway to about 2/3 of the way to the microphone. It'll depend a little bit on your setup and what type of sound isolation you have in the room you're using. Now, if we flip to the back of the microphone, we have a selection button here for either the cardioid pattern or the omnidirectional pattern. Now, I'll be honest, I'll only be testing the cardioid pattern today. I'm really not equipped or even, I would say, used to testing omnidirectional microphones. And as a live streamer or YouTuber, unless you're a musician, you'll most likely be using the cardioid pattern 99 to 100% of the time. Like, the only way I would see a non-musician YouTuber use the omnidirectional personally would be if you're doing a live interview and you don't have 2 microphones, so you're using the same microphone for both people. But for any musicians out there that want a really cheap mic, well, the omnidirectional pattern is available as well. Now below it, as I said earlier, you have the live monitoring output. So this is a regular 3.5mm jack going to whatever headset you want to use. And lastly, the connection here to the USB cable is USB-C, which actually surprised me a lot because even a lot of the higher brands are still using micro USB, and overall the USB-C standard is just such a better standard for a lot of reasons. As I said in the intro to this video, Feature-wise, this microphone is extremely well garnished for a $50 microphone. Like normally you only see these kind of features in branded microphones, easily you have above $150. And you do see them in off-branded microphones, but when we get to the sound test in a few seconds, you'll see that this one has a much better sound than most off-branded microphones. Also, just in case you're worrying, I'll be giving an extended sound test for this microphone specifically. Basically, the recommendations and the outro to the video, I'll all be doing with this microphone alone and with the direct input sound, so no voice modulation. Now we get to the only feature that I actually didn't like about this microphone is the USB-C cable they include. It's only 3 feet long. That is really short. Like most microphones come with cables that are 6 to 9 feet long. And in a normal studio setting, you'll need that length. But overall, it's not a deal breaker in my opinion, because basically either you can use a USB extension cable or you can just get a longer USB-C cable and you'll be fine with this microphone. That doesn't offset the cost of the microphone, like those things are like $5 purchases. So that was pretty much it for the close-up of this microphone. So now in the next few seconds, we're going to be starting the sound test part of the video. Now for the moment, I'm still using my Blue Yeti Nano and I'm still using the voice modulation. However, as soon as we start the sound test, I'm going to turn all of that off and we're going to get just the pure input coming from the microphones. Now, why am I doing the test this way? Well, basically, if you put software into the mix, you don't really get the exact quality you're getting from that microphone. And what I want to show you all today is exactly the quality of the sound that you have to work with at its base. Now we're going to be comparing the microphone to basically the Blue Snowball that is almost at the same price point, a $50 price point, and also the Blue Yeti Nano that is at almost a double price point of $100. So I'll cycle through a couple of sentences for each microphone, one after the other, and basically it'll give you a pretty good comparison of what the sound is from one to the other. Now, just don't forget that depending on how you're listening to this video, it will also affect the end result. I would say if you want the closest and purest sound, it's best experienced with a decent set of headphones. So now this is the sound test for the Blue Yeti Nano, and there is no voice modulation being used. Overall, this is what it's going to give from a pure input perspective if you want to use this microphone to either make YouTube videos or live stream. Now this is the sound test for the MAONO Fairy with no voice modulation being used. Basically, this is what it's going to be sounding like if you use the simple input to the MAONO Fairy for either making YouTube videos or live streaming. Now this is the sound test for the Blue Snowball with no voice modulation being used. This is what it's going to sound like if you use the simple input from this microphone to either make YouTube videos or for live streaming. So now that we have the features done and also the sound test, I thought we'd close out the video with me actually using the microphone to do the outro and my recommendations about this microphone. Now, MAONO has placed itself as a budget entry microphone. With a regular sell price of only $50, it is, however, a feature-rich option. Basically, at its price point, it's offering a lot of friendly options that the bigger brands are only offering at much higher price points. And ultimately, its sound quality is equivalent to those bigger brands' entry models that don't have the comparable options. And although its regular sales price is $50, I've already seen this microphone on sale for as cheap as $30. Now, the one thing, however, that I would strongly suggest if you do pick up this mic is to look at using some free software out there to basically help you control the sound coming to the mic. For example, adding a little bit of compression and basically other options. And there's free software out there for doing that. And really, this microphone holds its own very well. The only time it starts losing out is when we start looking at microphones that are almost double its price or more. Like personally, if I compared it to the sound coming out of my Blue Yeti Nano, obviously I did like the sound from my Blue Yeti a little more, but it's also double the price. And once you do the software compression and whatnot, there is not that big of a difference. And as I said, if you're live streaming, the presence of a physical mute button, do not underestimate that option. It'll save your butt on a regular basis. But overall, those are my thoughts on the Fairy from MAONO. It is a really solid budget mic, and I hope that if you fell upon this video because either you were looking at purchasing it or if you were just looking for a budget mic and you came across this video, that it was useful to you. And at the same time, if you didn't know about my channel before and you're into Switch gaming, definitely check out my other content. I think there'll be a little bit of something for everyone. And don't forget on the way out that if you did like this content, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when all my future videos come out. And as usual, I hope I'll see all of you in my next video.